Hi guys, it's me, Kathy, Mrs. Handy, are you? So I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're having a great day or an evening. And I'm doing pretty good. I got Rosie back here. And honestly, she's not a prop. She just likes to come up when I'm sitting in this chair. So I'm not making her come up, really. Anyway, so I noticed a couple of things President Trump said at the Perry, Georgia rally, the one that was the most recent. Yeah, so I call him, well, Tom started the phrase, Tom Numbers from Psych Club. He said, who's a friend of mine, by the way, he calls it Trumpology. So when President Trump says something accidentally, it's always on purpose. He never says a single word incorrectly. He always does it intentionally. Every word has intention behind it. So he said, let's see, at 16:13. So if you want to check it out, you can look for the recording of the rally. 16 minutes, 13 seconds, which, you can look at 16 as 6 plus 1 is 7, God's perfect number, and then 13 for the 13 bloodline families. So he did a Trumpology, and I have an awful time saying it because it's awkward. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. I'll say what he was supposed to say. Let's put it that way. He said, okay, he was, what he meant was, so awkward, relentlessly. Okay? Now, there's 3 L's, believe it or not. I don't know, never thought about it till I figured this out. Relentlessly has 3 L's. And he left out the last L, which would have been Ly at the end. So good luck saying it on your own, in your head. Relentlessly. That's it. Okay. Relentlessly. That's what he said. Only he didn't sound as awkward as I just did. That equals 166. So when you hear him do a Trumpology, you can do coding with the timestamp. You can look at the timestamp and look things up. You can do it the way I did it. So let's see a few things that were 166. This is a big deal. Pastor Bob Joyce, 166. Now, if you don't know it, I think I already told you that negative definitely confirmed that negative 48 confirmed that Pastor Bob Joyce, just like we all thought, is Elvis Presley. So if that's news to you, be happy, make popcorn, it's so cool. And you can listen to him online. You can listen to him online and listen to his sermons. He does them every Sunday. So it's really cool. Let's see. That's 166. Trump Kennedy is 166. New York nuked 166. Now this is going to my white hat FFs that I talk about every time I talk to you guys. The Big Bang Theory, 166. Hurricane Sally, 166. Disinformation is 166. And that's because all these things that will be happening are not real. False flag. Like, I said it. I'm not supposed to say it. Oh my gosh. FF imminent, 166. Biochemical missile, 166. Nuclear horror, 166. The fruits of death, 166. And I think it will look like POTUS is poisoned and he will be gone and he will be here. He'll be fine. So that was the Trumpology for relentlessly. Okay. Next one. Did I do 2 in a row? I can't even remember. Oh, I know. What I do is I look at timestamps as he's talking. Like, I'll usually watch it live. And as the time goes by, and I'll back it up a couple minutes. It's easier if you're not watching it live. But if you are watching it live, just back it up a couple of minutes and you'll see timestamps. and you'll see what time. And I, like, I always look for things that are at 35 minutes, 35 seconds, 17s, 15s, 23s, 33s, 8s, 15s. There's so many reasons to look at these numbers. And there's not always a comet. It can't be a comet, every single one of the numbers, but if you start looking at them as the seconds click by, you'll notice, oh, he's saying something that goes with this, like an 08, that kind of thing, or an 07. A lot of times it's a 35 for JFK. So, or 45, there's tons of ways to look at this. So it's 17, of course, our favorite Anand's number, 1735. He says, and that's why I took this phrase. I mean, is what he said. And normally I wouldn't be all excited about the phrase, but Juan says it all the time. That's one of his things he says quite often. And Juan doesn't say anything by mistake. Every word he says is important, along with negative. And us, we're doing the same thing, whether you know it or not, we're doing the same thing. So because it was at 1735, I decided to do, that equals 124. And that equals a lot of things, but the things that spoke to me were James Woods, and negative said he's one of the Bidens, along with someone I figured out, you probably already remember, Sean Connery, and I'd figured it out before negative told us, so I'm like, yes, I got it. I love Lucy. We're going to see Lucille Ball again and Desi Arnaz. So that'll be really cool for people who are of a certain age or of rerun age. Bobby Kennedy. And he's another Biden too. I'm just 100% sure of it because there's a bust, a bronze bust of Bobby Kennedy in the Oval Office, and quite often the Biden, who is all kinds of people, I'm sure, and Junior is one of them, at least part-time, I think. So James Woods, Bobby Kennedy. Anyway, so when he's in the Oval Office, quite often you'll see a bust of Bobby Kennedy, who wasn't a president, you know what I mean? It's not like normal to have a bust of Bobby Kennedy near someone. And he'll have him right next to him, this bust. And, Bobby Kennedy was Attorney General under his brother, JFK, our JFK. So, yeah, Bobby Kennedy is one of them. And Bobby Kennedy was a skinny guy. Now, I've seen him at different rallies, like the Clouseau rally, where they had a Kennedy family reunion. And they were all in Iowa. Matter of fact, that was the week before I saw a rally in New Hampshire, because the New Hampshire primary was coming up in 2020. So it was the week before, and they had all kinds of Kennedys there, and they're all well, no, I wouldn't say they're all identified, but most of them are identified. And you see JFK in the back when he's kind of shifting side to side, because that's what he used to do, I think, because his back bothered him. And Bobby is a little heavier, and at least who is identified as Bobby in the video, probably at a different, just a different age. And I mean, I'm not saying he's fat, I'm not saying that, but he just wasn't like the skinny guy that he was when he was Attorney General. And we're talking time travel and all that. So if you're confused, that's why you see him at different ages. So Bobby Kennedy matches the at 1735. They're both 124. 3 8s is 124, because there's 3 that are at the same, I don't know if you want to say level or what, but I think it's POTUS, Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr., and I don't know what you want to, who is 1, who is negative, who is R Jr., and JFK. So that's the 3. That's the way I look at it. I know that sounded awkward because I kept pausing, but what I mean is John Fitzgerald Kennedy is one of the three. POTUS is one of the three. And the other one is Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr., who is also 107, -48, and JFK Jr. So I'm sticking to it right now. You guys can think what you want, but that's what I think. 124 is also the Phoenix. King Jonathan was 124. And right around 1735, he also said probably not. And we know that that's like a famous negative decode that I won't go into the whole thing. I think I've done it before a couple of times. Anyway, I looked at not. And, well, actually, I'm sorry, I did both. I did not, and I did probably not. Well, probably not is 91. And it's funny because I had just talked about this, I think on the phone with a friend of mine, a favorite anon friend, I won't say the letter. And I was talking about H.G. Wells. And H.G. Wells had it was like a radio show, and it sounded like it was really happening, that aliens were attacking the world. Like, if you see drawings of it online or something, it looks like these things with these big long legs. Like, it's just weird. I mean, honestly, you didn't see the drawings, but that's what people interpreted it as. And anyway, it was called War of the Worlds. And I think it's going to look like we're in a war. I think it's going to look like we're under alien attack and nuclear attack and earthquakes, all that stuff, and it won't be real. So anyway, not, that's a big deal with negative, probably not, comes up to H.G. Wells, is 91, along with not. And Backed by Gold is 91. Jack Ruby is 91. New Madrid, it's not, when you say it as a fault line, F-A-U-L-T, I know I have a weird accent, you say it New Madrid, not Madrid, and that's a big fault line area, I should say, in the center of the United States. Then we have, that's 91. Queen Diana is 91. King Donald is 91. UFO crash is 91. It's going to look like chaos. And, you know, if you listen to my last video, you'll know that Juan is talking about Red October. And it's last year, it was Red October that I noticed anyway. That was, we saw JFK at a lot of rallies at a lot of different ages, right behind President Trump. We saw Jackie too, different ages. This Red October likely won't be the same. I mean, we might see JFK behind him. Well, actually, I think we did at the Perry, Georgia rally. Yeah, I think we did. He was down at the lower right. Yeah, he was there. And he had a blue polo shirt on, navy blue, like this. And yeah, so he was there. And so maybe we'll see him at a lot of rallies in October. I wonder. But it'll also be a Red October because it will be intense. It will look like the whole world, like I said, it'll hit the fan. So let's see. So not, I didn't finish. I was on the next page. Let's see, it's 49. So I did probably not was 91. Now I'm doing not 49. I'm sorry if I said it the wrong way earlier. And 49 equals he's back. Filmed equals 49, like a movie, filmed. Go red, and red is JFK, is 49. Back again is 49. And that could be POTUS, 45. Not just Junior and POTUS, 35. I know I'm doing all these numbers. It's weird, but Dallas is 49. Let's see. Another 49 that goes along with the white hat FFs is Club K. Now, Club K is the name of a missile system that is on, like with the back of a semi, the container. You can call it a container also. That it can be on a, like, stacked on a railway, on a train. It could be, like I said, in a truck. It could be moved, and usually it's got a nuclear missile inside. Maybe not nuclear. I'm not quite sure about that. But that's, supposedly they can be moved from all over the place and just put anywhere in the middle of the country, other countries, whatever. And the top opens up and the missile can come out like that, just like that. Years ago, that used to freak me out when I found out about it. But right now, I'm not afraid. I'm just not afraid. And I hope you're not either. I really do. So anyway, Club K matches 49. Let's see. Then we're still on that Perry, Georgia rally. He said, not really. And I'm sorry, I didn't write the timestamp down. That equals 122. And it must have been an important timestamp, or I never would have written down not really, That equals JFK Jr. is 122. Gabby Petito is 122. And that's fake. The whole story is fake. And Negative confirmed that just a couple nights ago, that whole story is fake. That's a white hat thing. Just to get people to wake up, And you guys should start reading articles with an eye to decoding, because just about everything you're going to read, just about everything, unless it's a death of a family member or a birth of a family member at this point, I don't know, and then that person could be definitely fake, because that's what's going on. It's all fake. And like I said before, we have control over the media. So it's all on purpose. And it's just to get people to go, oh my gosh, what's going on? So look at the numbers. Look up an article about Gabby Pepito. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. And look at the numbers and see what you think. You're going to see 8s and 17s and whatever. It's going to be all favored and on kind of numbers. And you'll understand. You'll see 22s and you'll decode the name of the boyfriend. And it'll be like, you'll go, oh my gosh. And it's just so funny. Let's see. What else matches on 122? Events begin. Back to the we had FFs. The end is near, 122. San Francisco. I'm thinking earthquakes, 122. Generators is 122. Now, if you're all hunkered down and there's been an EBS or EAS, an alert, and you're looking at your phones and all that, are you going to really know what's really happening to the rest of the world or the other cities even nearby you? No, you're going to only know what's on your phone that the EBS is telling you. You're not even going to know what's really, really, really happening. So, and if you are near what they say is happening and it's not happening, you won't even be able to tell anybody, because the internet, the Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff will be down. So that's how it happens, is my opinion, Another awesome one that matches 122 is George Kirby. And one of my very first videos, maybe the second or third, I talk about one of my favorite movies, Topper, Topper, and Cary Grant, who most of you probably know because he's in such well-known movies, classic movies. He's really handsome. Played a character named George Kirby, and George Kirby matches 122, and I think Cary Grant is here as one of the Bidens. And if not a Biden, I guess it could be the Pentagon spokesman or something, but I really am hoping he's a Biden. Let's see. Also, 122, Playhouse. Like there used to be I think it was CBS Playhouse, and it was plays that were on radio. You can still listen to things like that on old time radio, which is a nice reprieve from all this stuff, to listen to old time radio shows. No commercials. Let's see. Staged event is 122. Emmy Awards is 122. Lucy Lucy is 122. And I just brought her up in I Love Lucy match, something I did in my last video. So we're going to see Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy. It's Nuclear, 122. Celebration Florida is 122. And actually, I've been there. It's kind of weird. Yeah. And I think it's because at the end, we're going to have a celebration. War is declared, 122. And it won't be real. I am not scared is 122. And that's true. We shouldn't be. It's fake. Then I noticed this, this is another Trumpology from the Perry, Georgia rally with POTUS. And because I was looking at timestamps, and it was 1808, and 88 is Trump, and 8 is infinity, and 8 is the symbol for 8kun, when my favorite Anand used to post on 8kun near the end. So 1808 was, he said, President Trump said global pandemic, and then he said global pandemic. So he said DAM in the middle, pandemic. Global pandemic is 110, and president is 110. Christmas is 110. I think by Christmas we're going to at least know about our junior -1. If not JFK, it might be next year. By the time we know about JFK, I'm not sure, in the public. Although it took like 3 years or more for Junior. Gosh, I hope it doesn't take that long to find out about JFK. Oh my gosh, that'd be awful. Martial law is 110. Ronald Reagan is 110. And I think we're going to see him too. Punisher is 110. The Christ, 110. Portugal is 110. Now, you're probably wondering why I chose Portugal. Portugal is where Joseph Gregory Hallett said that the second Jesus lived, and he had a winery. Now, that probably sounds off the wall, but I believe it, I do believe that. Now, Joseph Gregory Hallett at the time said he was the second Jesus. Now, I don't know, as I said in the past, was he did he know that he was contributing to this whole white hat scenario, or did he not know and he said he was the second Jesus? But whatever it was, he had some kind of role to play in this whole thing, either knowing or not knowing. So yeah, Portugal. So it was cool that Portugal popped up, and it was 110 with a Trumpology. It's a big deal. It was a Trumpology. Sparrow is 110, and Lark was our junior's Secret Service name, and a lark is a form of, not a form, but is a sparrow. Let's see. Meteorite is 110. I think it's going to look like the world is ending and we're going to be wiped out by some comet or a meteorite. Locked and Loaded is 110. Let's see. Is there more on the next page? That's a good question. No, that was the end of that. Oh, no. Oh, I know what it is. Pandemic is 61, because I was doing global before. Equals QAnon. That unmentionable name. Wow. And POTUS is always saying, wow. When somebody says something, you go, wow, really big. That's 61. Thor is 61. And our Thor is, well, not going to be, but is Pat Tillman. And he was the football player that was pretty much whistleblowing on what the military was doing in Afghanistan. And he died after the whistleblowing. And, you know, we thought that the evil guys got him, but the good guys have him. And I'm sure he's under a new identity for now. And he will bring down the military. Well, the evil part of the military. I don't mean the whole military, but the evil part of what they've been doing with the military in some cases. So, you know, like guarding poppy fields in Afghanistan and things like that. And I'm sure, you know, trafficking, all kinds of bad things, letting plane loads go through of opium and children. And, you know, that's the bad part I'm talking about. So, yeah, Pat Tillman is here. And let's see, what else is 61? Baby Doge, D-O-G-E. And to me, that's Dogecoin, or I don't think you'd say a dog coin because there's an E. So to me, that means that's a good thing. But like you always know, I'm not a financial advisor and all that disclaimer stuff. Bluebeam is 61. So it's going to look like all kinds of things are happening. Dragons and lions and tigers and bears and all kinds of things. Who knows what the aliens... Trick equals 61. So there you go. FF. Done in 30. Remember that phrase that our favorite Anon said? Done in 30 is 61. So that equals Bluebeam when you think about it. So if you read done in 30, that's Bluebeam, Thor, atomic is 61. Flooded is 61. Smog, not S-M-O-G, but S-M-A-U-G is 61. And that was the name of the dragon in The Hobbit. Remember he was sitting on the gold? Yeah, so that's why smog came up. This is funny, literally. T-he-he, T-E-H-E-E-H-E-E is 61. So LOL, you know, laughing about the fake stuff. Wars, W-A-R-S, is 61. Fake. Cascading is 61, like power outages. Fives, plural, fives is 61. John CIA is 61, because I'm pretty sure from what I decoded in another video, he was in the CIA, but he was there as a double agent. So our John Jr. And he was in, like I said, he was in the CIA. Let me get this right. But he was a double agent for the NSA, which totally makes sense. UFOs equals 61. And oh crap equals 61. It's going to really catch a lot of people off guard. Even Anons, it's going to be like, what the heck? Or some anyway. Okay. Then Negative said, he said Trump train is 150. Yeah, I'm going on to Negative. I'm off the Georgia rally, sorry. So Negative said Trump train 150. Then he brought all these up. So this is not my decode, like usually it's my decoding, but he said Magdalene bloodline 150, all about family 150, the Republic KKK 150, which is kind of like what we were before everything is flipped behind the scenes, the Lord's Alive 150, the Holy Bible Code 150, Day of Judgment 150, it's coming or it's happened and we just don't know it yet. Inauguration is 150. U.S. President is 150. Another false thing on a pole, FF 150. And then he said something really funny, well, awkward. It's more like awkward than funny. Negative 48 says, I just can't figure out why Michael Jackson grabbed his CROTCH so much. Which you can decode if you want to. I didn't do it. And he said that after he said, grab him by the PUSSY. So that's why he did that, because you can only tell what sex someone is when they've been given hormones and all kinds of things happen to them from the birth. That's the only way you can tell if they're a born man or a woman, is by grabbing them there. And that's why POTUS did that. And he didn't say him or her, he didn't say her by the PUSSY. He said like E-M, apostrophe E-M. So that's why he said it, because you're gonna look back on it and go, oh my gosh, all these people that you thought, like Brooke Shields and people like that, were born men. And who would have thought, at the time that they were born men, because they were given the feminine hormones, I'm sure, since birth. So yeah, that's the only way you can tell, is if you grab them. It's all weird, but that's what he meant. Let's see. What else do I need to tell you guys? So I think almost every episode I bring up the license plate on the Lincoln that JFK was in, because it's coded many different ways, and Negative will bring it up different ways on different episodes that he's talking about. So, I'm sorry I keep bringing it up, but it's usually in a different way. So I'm not really redundant. I'm bringing it up in a different way. The license plate was GG300, and that was on a Lincoln. And you know what? I have a Lincoln. It's not new, but I have a Lincoln. Guess what's on my license plate? It's JFK plus Jr. Isn't that cool? I love it. I'm so happy I got that. I was going to just get JFK Jr., but it was already taken. So somebody in my state has JFK Jr., and I'm like, shout out to you. I'm so happy. So but I'm happy now because I know that JFK is here too. So it's really cool. Anyway, back to the important stuff. So the 300 on the plate, I'm sorry, go back. The 7 and the 7 from the GG equals Christ, because Christ equals 77 in simple gematria. And I always forget to tell you guys, I'm doing simple gematria, and it's A equals 1 through Z equals 26. I usually use gematrix.org, but if you have numbers involved in your phrasing, or just numbers like Roman numerals, use Gematrinator calculator. Okay, so let's see. 300 equals I'm going to die and be avenged. So you talk about knowing you're going to die. I mean, I know I had a video out a while back that said he was likely a clone and all that stuff. Well, boy, was I wrong. I mean, I 100% say I'm wrong. Yeah. What he knew it was going to happen. It was on his license plate. He gave comms in a interview with Walter Cronkite, and he knew he was going to be gone. He knew it. And he was telling us in the comms, if you keep looking at timestamps, like I told you a few minutes ago, look at the timestamps and see what he said. And now that I know that there was no clone, Negative said there was no clone, Negative 48, Michael Jr., all those people rolled into one. There was no clone. And yeah, he knew he was going to be a sacrifice. He knew he was doing it for us. And he knew he was coming back. And that's all in that interview. And it's all on the license plate. It's amazing. It's so many places. I mean, I even saw a game show. What was it? What's My Line? I probably won't ever go into that because it's too long and involved. But you look at the timestamps on it, because I started to hear phrasing that was really familiar. And yeah, it was amazing. You look at the timestamps, and they're all giving phrasing about JFK dying and coming back. It's amazing. And I'm sure it's all over the place now that I know it was in that game show. I'm sure it was everywhere, you know, way, way back. So he knew, I'm going to die and be avenged. It's 300. And the 7-7, the GG was the 7-7 and equals Christ in simple gematria. So anyway, Negative said something I haven't quite figured out yet. And if you guys figure it out, let me know. He put it in the Gematrinator calculator, and he put in JFK came back on 1/1 for November, 2/6 for the date, because it was exactly to the minute 4 days later that he came back. So 11/26, 1963 for 1963. And it was, oh, I hope I wrote this right, at 1:24. Yeah, that's right, 1:24 in the afternoon. So in the afternoon is not part of the coding. So he said, take the gematrix, which is what I normally use, and park it. You could decode that too, but I didn't do it. So you enter that in, and he also said, this is the part I don't understand, and I didn't decode it, I'm sorry. They took him east. So when he was born again, like I said in the last video, he was born again, and that's why on the fourth day, on the November 26th, that's what he's American citizen, and that's why he can be president of our republic under the Constitution. And before that, when he was president, when he started in 1961, he was president of the United States Corporation, and that's why he was a legitimate president then, and he's a legitimate president now, because he's president now, in case you're new. And JFK Jr., who is everybody rolled into one, but anyway, he's VP, vice president. And yeah, so that's what's going on. So that they took him east. I'm not quite sure about like where, I don't know where, but it sounds like he was born again in the east, possibly, or possibly he was born again in Dallas, and then they took him east. That's a good question. I don't know. Anyway, the decode for all the JFK came back on, and then all the numbers I just gave you is 136, and Great Awakening is 136. And wait till you learn who is talking to you here is 46. And Great Awakening you can look at as, you know how negative 46, 48 will take numbers and do them differently? You know, that he doesn't just add them like horizontally, he'll do them vertically. So Great Awakening 136, you take the 1 plus the 3 and then drop them down. That's 4, you know, so go down. So now you have a 4. You take the 6 and just carry it down vertically, and then you have 4 and a 6, and that's 46. And you can call JFK POTUS 46. I thought he'd be POTUS 19 because he'd be under the Republic like before. So that part I don't understand quite. And then negative says, American Badass President 220. You know how he says that. I love it. I guess we have a magic wand 220. Remember POTUS said that. Tower 1, and that's with the Roman numeral 1, is 82. And Anointed 1, O-N-E, is 83. And Donald and JFK are the anointed twin flames. Now he's saying that whenever you see the Gemini and the twins and the brother and all that, that it's just Donald and JFK. Honest to goodness, I get 3 very often, and and I did in the last video. So there's 3 of them. So Donald, Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr., and JFK, because Joseph Patrick and John are brothers. And you know Joseph Patrick is not gone. You do know that, right? He's here. Everybody else is here. Joseph Patrick is here. So, let's see. He said the most awesome thing after that. Oh my gosh. You guys are going to love this. Are you ready? It's awesome. He said the Bible is it's a living thing. You can decode that. It's a living thing. I didn't do that. And, you know, I've thought in the past that, you know, with all the prophets over the many years since the Bible that we have, and, you know, I know that it's edited by a lot. There's supposed to be 711 books in the Bible, Negative said. And we have 66, and that's because 66 is like the Cabal stuff. So we have almost nothing of the Bible left. Anyway, so I was thinking, you know, there should have been prophets and all kinds of things written in the Bible since then. But there wasn't, you know. But anyway, Negative said, the Bible, it's a living thing. And he said, we'll be in the Bible. So Anons and people that have worked on this and researched, all kinds of people will be in the Bible, and there'll be chapters and all that added to the Bible. Isn't that cool? So it's really cool. I remember President Trump said, he told Negative anyway, that there will be a, what was it? A park, or I don't remember what he called it, but anyway, something to immortalize, I guess, is how you could put it, or give credit to Anons and people like that. And who knows where it'll be. It won't be in Washington, D.C., I can guarantee you. So he said, you'll go down in history. And he said, just stay on the correct side. Don't worry about being on the left or the right. Stay on the correct side. Stay on God's side. And he said, truth is 87 and justice is 87. That's the side, both sides of the sword, as he's always saying. One side is truth, and the other side of this double-edged sword is justice. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's see. He said, I shall destroy Lucifer is 241. True God of all the world is 241. Then another one that matched is welcome home, my brother. Remember, I'm always talking about Joseph Patrick, my brother, 241. So that's it, you guys. I have rambled long enough, and I hope you watched the video before this. These will probably come out kind of close together, but give it a shot. I tried not to make them too long, but I have no idea how long they are. I just talk, and I don't edit, so I'm sorry. You know, when I make mistakes, they're not edited. It's just the way it is. So anyway, I really hope you guys have a beautiful day or evening, and I do really care about you. I love you. And anyway, you take care of yourselves and take care of each other, okay? Bye-bye. Catch you later.